Hello people of YouTube. Before I start, let me say that yes, I am working on my top 10 best movies of 2014 list, but those lists take a long time to make, so in the meantime, I'll try and keep you up to date with the other films I'm seeing. So I just watched Tim Burton's new movie, Big Eyes, and it was really good. It's been a while since I was excited for the new Burton film. Don't get me wrong, he's directed some of my favorite movies of all time. He's got an amazing sense of aesthetic and humor, but most importantly, no matter how stylized his films were, they were always driven by some sort of central idea. But in recent years, his movies started to lose a lot of heart. He started adapting more books as opposed to writing his own scripts. Nothing wrong with that, but it always seemed to me like the stories he chose to adapt were only chosen because they would go nicely with his visual style, not because they particularly meant something to him. And all the while refusing to work with any actors that aren't these two people.
The film itself is really brilliant, and I'm playing a very interesting character. Do you have any idea who my leading lady is on this film?
In the Tim Burton film?
Yeah.
Helena Bonham Carter?
How'd you know?
Stab in the dark.
So when I saw the trailer for Big Eyes, I was pretty much game after 10 seconds. It doesn't star Johnny Depp or Helena Bonham Carter. In fact, they're not even in it. It isn't an adaptation of a Roald Dahl book or something. It's a true story about the life of a painter. There's virtually zero use of CGI. It's just a good old-fashioned character-driven drama. Amy Adams was very good. This isn't the best performance she's ever given, but I think it might be the one where I've liked her the most. She did a fantastic job at conveying how helpless and vulnerable this woman thought she was, and the personal struggle she had to go through before she realized her own strength and power. I was behind her character every step of the way. Christoph Waltz was fantastic, certainly the more charismatic of the two leads, but I think that this was very much intentional. His character bursts into every room with such exuberance and flamboyance. Every word out of his mouth has been carefully thought over and selected as the best thing to say in that moment. Without spoiling anything, I'll just say that there's something off about him, and Christoph Waltz played it perfectly. Which is really nice to be able to say, because he's a great actor, but outside of Tarantino's movies, he's not been given anything to really sink his teeth into. Until now. As for the directing, it's very restrained. The camera is usually locked off, the colors and lighting feel as if they're going for a more natural look, and the focus is kept on the dialogue and the performances. The whole production just feels like Tim Burton getting back to his roots, and it's wonderful to see. There were some negatives. Some of the acting came across as a little staged, namely from Jason Schwartzman. Now, to be fair, I think he was being directed to say his lines that way. It's certainly a trademark of Burton's to give things a certain theatrical flair, but in this movie, where the world and everyone in it are being played as natural, his performance comes across as pretty phony. He got a couple laughs out of me though, I will say that.
How dare you! Lots of people will like this!
Well, nobody who's walking through the doors of this gallery. Now please, clear out the clutter before the taste police arrive.
But unfortunately, they cast an actor who I can't stand. Do you ever have those actors that, for whatever reason, the minute they show up on screen, you just like the movie a little less at that moment? Because this person is in it, and there's nothing you can do about that. You just gotta keep watching the movie and hope they don't ruin it for you. Well, for me, that actor is Danny Houston. Oh god, he annoys me so much. He shows up, opens that huge mouth of his, and just starts pretending to be a character on screen for my entertainment. It's disgraceful! Okay, this is my lowest moment as a movie reviewer. The closest I can come to actual criticism here is that he plays the same person in everything he's in. He has no range whatsoever, but it's mainly the fact that he annoys the living shit out of me. Jokes aside, this is actually the movie where I found him to be the most bearable. His character rarely makes an actual appearance on screen, as he's mainly used for narration to keep the story moving along. Overall, this movie was pretty much everything I wanted it to be. It's a nice return to form for a talented director, the story and performances were always interesting and entertaining to watch, and it has a strong visual style that complements what's going on as opposed to overwhelming it. Some of the performances didn't really work, but the movie as a whole works very well indeed, and I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I definitely recommend it to you if you're a fan of art or Tim Burton, or you just like good movies. So guys, what's your favorite Tim Burton film? I certainly know mine.
How can you have a handle like a scissor, huh? Show me one person who's got the handle like a scissor.
Hey, it's a beautiful dream. I love it to be this man.
Did you ever think about what you're going to do on the toilet? What are you going to do on the toilet?
The top 10 list is headed your way, guys, in addition to these smaller videos, so stay tuned for that. And as always, YouTube, take it easy till next time.